What'd you think of what you got out of Romeo on Sunday, and for him to come out with a game, 8 catches, I think that was the most in like 40 years by a rookie. Just what'd you think of what he put together out there against the Bucs?
Yeah, he graded out really well. He starts at X. I don't think this stage was too big for him on any of the plays. He wasn't nervous. You guys have got to know him. He's cool, calm, and collective. You know what I mean? That's how he plays out there. He loves ball. Since I've met the kid, when he came on his visit, that's the one thing I knew from him. I'm like, this kid truly loves football above everything else. So, like I said, he prepared. He had a great offseason. I know you guys would always, talk about how he's, making some plays in practice, and it was the truth. You could see it. You could feel it from him. I told him it was only a matter of time before, you just start climbing and you go out in the game. But he lost a couple press releases. He had, maybe one mental mistake. But other than that, he graded out extremely well for his first start. Played a lot. Was in great shape. It was hot down there, and he did a good job. I think he only needed to sub one time, so he did an awesome job, man. It was just a first start for him, and I know he got that honor, which was a great honor. And I told him that, and he said, I don't know what you're talking about, because he's kind of, like I said, he's all ball. He kind of puts his blinders on when he comes in the building, and he's not a big social media kid or not a big TV guy. He just literally studies football and loves ball. So it was cool. He's earned it, and I'm really proud of him.
What's the challenge in going forward for him? He's played, 120 snaps in 3 games, and however many there was in the preseason, a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
So there'll be more and more film out there against him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, we grade releases, and he's like, we watch it, and I'm like, well, could you have done better? He might have got grabbed or held or, jammed off the line once or twice. That happened to him, so he was disappointed about that and knew he should have done a better job moving a guy here or there. Like I said, mentally just being locked in, so we know the game plan inside and out and kind of what we're looking for from Aaron or from our staff on a play. If he ran the route here, we want him to be, on this leverage. It's just going to be, it'll be a great growth for him, but I know he's up for the challenge because of the kid he is, the maturity. Like Matt's talked about his plan, how he works. He's a guy that goes over to the indoor and catches on his own with the jugs with a equipment guy. If he finds somebody, whoever he can find in the building, he's probably over there now. So if he could, anytime he could, if he can catch jugs or do whatever, he's a workaholic. And I told him before, I said, when you got here, I said, you can be as good as you want to be. You have the talent. How good do you want to be? Let's go do it, man. And he's very coachable. It's gonna be cool to watch him, grow and where he goes this season.
Romeo's got, I think, 16 targets, and he's caught 14 of them. I don't know if you have an ideal percentage, but that seems to be a pretty high percentage, especially for a rookie. I know some of it's short to intermediate stuff, but what are you looking for in terms of, I know you want to catch them all, but what's realistic for a guy to have a good ratio there?
Yeah, wherever that goes, I just tell them, we care about the column on the left, the wins, right? But it's not just our overall victory, hey, are we 2-1 in the season? I'm not talking about that. It's did we win on each play? So whether it's a route and you didn't get the ball, there's a lot of routes that he might have won on, but Aaron read the other side of the field that play. That happens too. We try to win, at a high percentage. Typically if you win 90% of your plays run and pass, you end up, grading out. We usually, our room, if we're 90% as a whole, we win the football game. Because we're involved in a lot of things here, But he graded out well. He was right about that number and that mark. There's obviously some plays that he could have got back. But like I said, the game wasn't too big for him. And that's probably the biggest thing with young players is when they're out there, do they come to the sideline, I'm talking about a play, and you see the deer in the headlights. That never came up one time for him, So like I said, some guys that I've been with in the past get it right away. And it's not too big for him, and other guys, might take him a week or two, a year, So I think he showed that he can do that, and like I said, his practice habits are the reason why he played so well,
Jason, do rookies sometimes have trouble with the run alert portion of the game, or is that sort of an easy, natural thing? And then where do you see that with him because of his, quickness in the open field and stuff like that? Is that something where he can be?
Yeah, you saw us early hit him with some screens. If you watch his Nevada tape, that was kind of one of the things I said to Matt right away. I was like, this guy is very good with the ball in his hands. He was a punt returner. He was very natural. Some good players I've been with in the past, they've always said to me that when they get the ball in their hands, the game slows down more than when they don't. And that's kind of what you notice with him. For some people it's a blur. He can find those lanes and creases or whatever. We had the one run alert. He only got, I think, 2 yards on the left side. He could have done a better job on that one. And he knew that. He was like, our goal and standards on those is a little bit more yards than that. But He's good with the ball in his hands. He has very good balance, athleticism. Like I said, he's very comfortable in his own skin. So he does a good job with that stuff. But the college game's a lot of run alerts. The NFL's not so much. You know, you see college, they throw bubbles and all that stuff all the time. The NFL game's not that much compared to, you know, some of the college teams. So he's been comfortable with all those. Aaron's really good at it. We've done it through the past year, you know. So, yeah, he's good with all that stuff.
What can you do for Christian, for a kid who came in with, you know, big expectations and a lot of coaching up in the spring, and then the delays during camp and missing last week? I mean, so he doesn't fall behind mentally.
Yeah, mentally he's been great. It's more, you know, everything about the receiver position is like being an artist, creating a perfect picture. And that's why sometimes it takes guys more time to be able to set a DB up and cross him over, right? So it's just the creatures of habit. We're trying to build habits for guys, the way to cut the right way and not bleed on a route and run a banana route when it should be here and then there and stick it. He's just working on creating his craft and feeling comfortable, like I said, in your own skin. So when you're out there, you're not thinking, how am I going to get across this DB's face, who's, you know, in front of me at 7 yards? You know, you already have a plan. I'm going to rage off the ball. I'm going to move this guy, and I'm going to cross his face, and the timing and the window is going to be there. And so mentally he's there. It's just about then creating, you know, your brain process into your feet and all that stuff and the right rhythm and timing. And like I said, every time we run a route, like we want it to be like perfect. Like so I can go show that on teach tape for years to come of this is how this route should look. You know, that's our goal every time. It's not always that clean and pretty, but I tell you what, Christian is a worker, and you know, you watch him out there practice. There's a speed that I've maybe never even felt before on a field, and he's been pushing himself, you know, and like I said, I mean, he started week 1 and had some ops, and you know, him and Romeo, along with Samari, have done a really good job. All 3 of those rookies have been, you know, a blessing to our room, and you know, really good fits.
How are his releases? I mean, are they NFL type releases now? I mean, can you tell enough from what you've seen in 2 games?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he hadn't been pressed a ton, you know. If you watch his college tape, that was one thing I was like laughing about. Everybody played him off at like 12 yards, right? So I said, how many times were you pressed in college? He was like, 5, you know, like, and that's the truth of it. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously the more you're out there and the more you get live reps, just like Romeo did, and the more guys in your face and testing you, you're going to just own your craft and get better at it, right, and feel more comfortable. So we try to work that individual. We try to work in practice. He did miss training camp, right, and obviously you wish he had all those reps back, but both those guys are going to have a growth, and there's going to be ups and downs, right? You know, your young players, there's ups and downs with guys in their 7th year, right? It's, you know, not always easy, but they're working. Like I said, they're great kids. They've been a great fit for this room, and I even see it for the community because they're very special individuals that I'm very fond of.